Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the CH-47 Chinook and our ferry flight over to Mackinac Island. We're currently up in Tobermory. It's about -3 but sunny. We're going to be flying from here up over Manitoulin Island. We're then going to swing down into northern Michigan. We'll pass the famous Mackinac Bridge and land on Mackinac Island. It's about 140 miles or so to get there. And we're going to jump on board and get the aircraft up and ready to go. Alright, we're settled into the cockpit. Let's pop up top. We'll go down and get our pre-flight ready to go. So EFAP doors and fans are all closed. We'll make sure the lights are on where we want them. We'll turn the dimmers up to the dim position for this daytime flight, just to give us a little bit of definition on the overhead. Compass is set to free. We're going to turn the heaters on. We'll bring the temperature up halfway. It is kind of cold out. There we go, and that's all set. Battery is off, APU is off, generators are all off. Come up to the cockpit lighting. Get those turned up. Fuel pumps are all off. Engines are on ground stop. Prior rev switches are in priority. FADEC NR percentage is set to 100. Backup power is off. Load share is set to torque. Come up to our cockpit lights. So the instrument lights will come on. Our emergency exit will be armed. We'll turn up the panel lights over on this side. Pilot's lighting up as well. Searchlight control is off. We're going to turn on the windshield heat as well, as it is cold out. Hoist is off. Cable cut is set to off. Emergency release is off. They're all guarded. We are set tandem. Transfers are off. Ramp is powered. Emergency ramp is off. And flight control levers are set to both. Moving down here, fire pull handles are both in. Cyclic trim is set to auto, and system select are off. So that is that done. We are ready to power up the aircraft. So we're going to come up top now. We'll get the batteries on. Pop down here and do our caution light test, and everything on the caution advisory panel is working fine. And we'll start up the APU.
Dashboard 2353, good afternoon, climb level 240.
And start.
Climb level 240, dashboard 2353.
There's the APU winding up. Wait a second. We'll get the switch to go to run. There we go, and the APU generator is now on. Hydraulic transfer coming on. Parking brakes are set. FADEC backup power is on. Engine condition levers are both in stop. Turn the fans on and open the doors up on the EAPS, which is up on the transmissions and stuff by the props. And we'll let the crew know we are about to start the aircraft. Alright, with that done, we are good for engine start. So left main pumps are coming on. Crossfeed is coming on. Engine 1 condition lever goes to ground. And we are going to start engine 1 until N1 reaches 10%. Oops, that's the wrong one. N1. There's our N1 gauge. You can see the N1 starting to rise. It's 5%. There's 10%. Engine's firing up. Alright, so we're going to come down here, release the start. Come back, we're watching for our N1 to reach 50% within 45 seconds, which it has done. Temperature is coming up, oil pressure, temperature is coming up, and oil pressure is good, and our transmission oil is through 7%. That's coming up good. Alright, so we have a good start on engine number 1. Popping back up. Engine number 2 is going to go into ground start. And starting engine number 2. As well here, we're watching for 10% on the N1 gauge.
Jazz 495, there are delays into Toronto right now. Have a depart Amoeba time when you're ready to
Once
come.
again, I keep forgetting that crossfeed doesn't work on the fuel, but there we go.
1621, speed your discretion.
Turn off the starter.
21 R speed, Jazz 495.
Get watching for 50% within 45 seconds and oil pressure above 5% or 5 psi. Well, there we go, we're through. That's all looking good, and if we come up to our oil transmission pressure, we're above 7%. So that is good. So we'll come up to the engines, both engines going into flight mode. Generators for engine 1 and 2 are coming on. AP generator switch will come off. And APU will go off. Turn on all the fuel pumps now. And we're going to pop down. We're going to come over here. We're going to set our transponder. It is now set. And we're going to come down here to our radio. And we're going to go to 120.8. There we go for our Unicom. So we're just about ready to taxi. So we're going to turn on the power steering. First we're going to come up here and turn on the main power steering. And we're going to pop down here and unlock the tail wheel and turn on the steering there. Get them to close the doors in the back and bring the ramp up off the ground. See, that's now done, and we are ready to go. So we're going to taxi down here. Winds here in Tobermory are pretty much non-existent, so we're going to taxi out to the runway, and then we are going to depart from there. So, manual brakes are on, parking brake is off, and we'll taxi out now and get ready to go. So it's been a nice little overnight here, rather cold overnight up on the bay here, but it's another beautiful sunny day, and we're going to head out from here, flying north out over the water, Georgian Bay, and we're going to overfly Manitoulin Island, which is a massive island up at the north side there, kind of separating Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. And we'll fly across that, and then we're going to cross down into Michigan. And from there we will head out over the Mackinac Bridge and then down to Mackinac Island, small little island. If I remember right, it is the one there's no cars allowed. Everything is horse-drawn buggies and stuff, or walking. But it is pretty small, so it's not that big of a deal to get around. All right, so we're almost down to where we want to get to. So we're just going to turn in here at the first
Toronto, hello, turn that 245 Heavy.
taxiway.
Air Transat 245 Heavy, good afternoon, ATIS Victor. Air Transat 245.
And then we'll get the aircraft good and ready to go. So as we roll up, we're going to turn our FADEC over to both, or AFCS control system. Power steering we will lock once we get turned around. Transponder is on, cyclic trim switch is on. We are good. So approach is clear both ways. We'll come out, and then once we're lined up, we'll lock the tail wheel. There we go. So we're now here. We will get that tail wheel locked. Click spot's a little finicky. Pop up here. Turn off the power steering pump. And we are good to go. So we're going to release the brakes, come up on the collective, add a little bit of forward cyclic, start her rolling. And again, we're going to be cruising at about 1,000 feet for this flight today. And we have a positive rate of climb. We're going to make the turn here to the north. Keep the climb going as we come around.
Toronto, Jazz 768, front level 230.
Aiming for that 500 feet.
Toronto Center, climb flight level 350.
There we go, we're through 500.
So far, no complainers.
So the guys in the back controls are up.
Canada, so.
Start heading out towards the island. So let's get her set up for level flight.
Center now, 1356.
We have a few islands out here in the bay to go over as we head out towards Manitoulin. It's looking very nice out here. You can see Manitoulin on the horizon there. So as I mentioned in the last flight, when you're coming in from Western Canada or Asia or anything like that, quite often you overfly this area as you're descending down towards Toronto. That's Georgian Bay off in that direction and Lake Huron off in that direction. If you take a look at the map here, watch our altitude here. You can see the island right here. There's Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. This is Georgian Bay. We're going to fly up along the edge here, all the way up, and then Mackinac Island is up in this area up here. So that's where we are headed. As we are cruising along. Large First Nations population here on Manitoulin. In fact, the ferry that runs between Tobermory and the islands here is called the Chichimon, native word. There is no bridge here connecting the island this way. There is one from the island to the north, up onto the mainland up in the north. But as you saw when I zoomed out the map, that would be a huge huge diversion for driving, so they put the ferry in place. It'll be about an 8-hour driving diversion to get around.
2353, requesting direct Duple on table. Dashboard 2353, proceed direct Duple on course. 6, proceed direct Duple on course.
Lots of water out here, big lakes, and a lot of lake effect. Snows in the winter coming off of here with the warmer water and the colder air, or you even get some pretty good waves and storms happening out here. It's big enough. Well, the waves are not tidal per se, but they're very wind driven.
Toronto Center, good afternoon, Giant 7481 Heavy, flight level 360 CPDOC.
Anyway, we're going to cruise along. We're going to cruise up along Manitoulin Island. We'll give you some views. And as we start coming down in towards Michigan
Air Transat 245,
Mackinac
when you're ready,
Island,
descend flight level 240.
we'll rejoin you.
When ready, descend
See you
flight
then.
level 240, Air Transat 245.
Well, as you can see, we have left Manitoulin Island behind. We're over this small little island here. And in this channel, directly ahead, is the US-Canadian border. And we're going to be passing out of Toronto airspace and into Minneapolis Center. But as we chug along here, we're seeing a little bit of green starting to appear down there. Nice to see early signs of spring heading our way. But right ahead of us here across the water is Drummond Island.
I'm ready to descend 240 to that 765.
And then after that we'll be into mainland Michigan. Sort of proper, kind of. But in the US anyway. So here's the border coming up. And we're just chugging along here. Been enjoying the views as we come under the clouds. This flight is live weather, live time.
35. Let me take a look at the scripts from the past hours.
Being flown on Sunday, the 24th of March. And it is a gorgeous day for flying up here. Temperature is just around -1 or so. Doing us some nice air here. So here's Drummond Island. We're going to stick to the south of it, and we'll come off that little peninsula there, and cross over to the bigger end of the landmass. We're up near Sault Ste. Marie. It's further up that way to the north, or northwest from where we are, and we're going to be following the coast along, as mentioned, and then we'll swing south and overfly the Mackinac Bridge and then swing down around to the island itself, Mackinac Island.
Whiskey Echo, I have the Minneapolis flight data number if you'd like it. Whiskey Echo, Minneapolis flight data.
Helicopter is flying very well.
463 55.
Everything is good there. We're getting about 1,100 feet or so, maybe up to 1,200 as we cruise along the island here, in and out of the shade. As mentioned, people do live up here, and there is some First Nations all along the island, Manitoulin, and I'm sure out on these islands as well.
On this frequency for me.
So they are inhabited. In fact, that little one between Manitoulin and Drummond here, there's a little airstrip on there as well.
Broadcast this frequency for call sign
Saw it
Zero
off in the distance.
Whiskey Echo. Call sign 0 Whiskey Echo, and have it changed to 125.02.
Fuel's doing good. And that cloud layer is keeping up where it should be. Mackinac Island's reporting no clouds at the moment, so
and he's going to
see how that is.
25.02.
I've tuned into Lansing VOR, not picking it up yet. It's tuned in over there, 111.8. Lansing VOR is further along, but it would give us a rough estimate on distance. It's very noisy in these aircraft, that's for sure. I've made 3 flights in the CH-47, all in the back, obviously. It is a nice helicopter, very stable, one of my favorites. And it is this noisy. Definitely we're wearing headphones and ear protection in the back. I think my longest flight was about 2 hours.
312 Minneapolis Center, welcome. Can you do me a favor? Alaska 312, can you broadcast this frequency for call sign November 0 Whiskey Echo? Call sign November 0 Whiskey Echo, and have it changed to my frequency 125.0.
Although my favorite for nostalgia is still flying in the Huey. That was always a fun one to get up in. Right, so checking the engine instruments, everything is looking very nice. All our temperatures and pressures are looking good. Fuel flow is looking good. Rotor speed and RPM and torques are all looking good.
Here with the SO, Rebecca correct. And just one pertinent note I have to verify there at 2 County, the runway 17.
And nothing is being overstressed in this airframe, which is very nice. We've got a long tour ahead of us around the Great Lakes.
1625. Change your advisory frequency is approved, and you report time on cancellation on the ground through that phone number there.
Alright, so we're going to keep chugging along here, and we'll pick it up when we get a bit closer.
+2 right now at 4.5.
Alright, we've been following the road here off to our left. That loop gets up around the lake here. We're going to pick up the main road, running right to left as we come up to the end of the bay here, and that's going to lead us down towards the Mackinac Bridge.
1693, check again. Should be a bunch of 7s there. 2777.
So we'll keep to about 1,000 feet. Did a check on the weather. The pressure is still the same, but the winds have picked up. They're now 10 to 14 knots out of the southeast. So we're going to come in and land from the northwest when we do come in, and that will have us going into the wind.
3838, contact Omaha Post 120.1, good day.
20.1, Skyway
There's
3838.
little bits of snow here and there still up this far north, but not looking too bad. There's the intersection. Here's the main road. That road goes all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie if we were to follow it north, but we're heading south and we're going to head down to the Mackinac Bridge.
Lead to
Try to
687,
maintain around
28-4,
1,000
descending 240.
feet or so. See some of the islands out there in the water.
Flying there, Dawn Center, take it.
Legion 687, 27-7, descending
It's
240.
looking very good.
Legion 687, Minneapolis Center, good afternoon. Descend and maintain 8,000, Sioux Falls, altimeter 2964.
Descend 8,000, Legion.
So I believe that's Mackinac Island over there, just off of our 10:30, 11 o'clock. So we're going to continue down here, following along the highway here, and then we will take a look at the bridge and then swing back around to come in for the landing. This is, I believe, a point of interest, so the bridge should look pretty good. I could be wrong, and it could look like, well, not good. We will see. Keep an eye out for some of these towers. That one was on the charts. Should be another one coming up on the left as well. Or maybe the right.
Go, Charlie, Minneapolis Center, welcome. Coming in over 230.
It'll be on the right. We'll keep to the left.
About 34, disregard. 35, 10 miles south of Sands, turn right, fly heading of...
There's the bridge in the distance. Oh, it looks pretty good from here.
335, maintain 4,000.
There's that tower.
Localizer cleared to the ILS 3-5 approach to Allen Airport.
What's to the left of the road in the direction I was looking at the chart? It's to our right as we're heading southwards. The VORs come in now. We're 20 miles out from the Lansing VOR, which is kind of straight ahead, but I was just going to use that as a rough guide to distance to go. But there's Mackinac Island off in that direction where we're headed.
Southwest 3470 Minneapolis.
Coming around here.
Maintain 16,000. Omaha altimeter is...
Good. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit on my map here. We're going to be coming up to an airport. We're going to overfly the St. Ignace Mackinac County Airport.
Welcome, Clementine, level 230.
That's directly ahead. We'll try to maintain that 1,000 feet overhead the airport. Runways are east to west. Stick to the shoreline. We'll fly down the east side of the bridge so we can see it. And then we'll circle back around and come up the west side.
35, tower just called, information Gulf current now, 1 3/4 mile visibility, overcast 300, light rain and mist.
There's our airport. Or not our airport, but the airport that we're flying over, the county airport. You can see the one we're going to. I can see the lights flashing out there on the island. It takes up most of the island, actually. It's a pretty big strip there. 3,800 feet, I believe.
35, winds 110 at 10.
There's the town.
And Legion 35, radar service terminated.
So Mackinac City is on the south side.
Hope you guys get on the ground.
And then we've got the bridge here. We're going to go down to about 500 feet or so. Get a bit of a look at it.
KMCD 2city ground, cleared to the Chicago Airport as
That's
filed.
500 feet above the ground using the radar
Flight level
altimeter.
270, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 124.6, squawk 2456.
Fairly big bridge here.
Airport is filed, 1995,000. Flight level 270, 10 minutes after departure. Frequency 124.6, squawk 2456.
KMCD 71, read back.
Water artifacting out there. It's all draw distance stuff.
Nope, they're going to
Bridge looks
Grand
pretty
Island
good.
there. They were waiting a while to see if the weather would lift, but
Never been here, so I can't say how
not
accurate
playing
it
ball.
is, but looks good.
Hey, Hotel Charlie, how's the ride in the climb? Any kind of icing? Tobermory Hotel Charlie, thank you. Contact Minneapolis Center on 135.1. Have a great day.
Alright, so here's Mackinac City. Do a nice turn here. We got quite a bit of speed going, so we're going to make a wide turn as we come roaring around the town.
For 0 Delta Delta, contact the Kansas City Center on 127.9. Good day.
Head back up towards the north end, and then we'll cross over and head for the island where we're going to pick up our landing. So we'll land on the runway that's I think it's 08, and then we'll adjust for the winds as we come in.
Boy 3908, how's the ride in the climb there? Any kind of icing yet?
Fly up to where we make landfall with the bridge. Working our way down to about 500 feet. The guys ready in the back. There's the runway coming in. Targeting that 500 feet, and then we're going to start to slow her down. Terminal's about halfway down on the right hand side. Start pulling her back.
Boy 3908, contact Chicago Center 133.95. Good day. 687, contact Sioux Falls approach 125.8. Have a great day.
2520, we 687. See you.
So I'm going to be going backwards. See that crosswind there. Try to keep her about 20 feet up or so. It's a little sloppy coming in, but we got her into the hover now. Alright, there we are. We are down. Just going to bring up my checklists here. We'll get the power steering on.
79 Charlie Sears cleared from the Fort Dodge Airport to the Wynn Airport by direct. Climb maintain 900,000. Squawk 4516. You're cleared to go ahead if not off in
parked up out here.
And you can contact me airborne this frequency.
Just make sure we got a little bit of space.
Charlie Sierra, roger, you're released for departure. Talk to you soon. Two, 3 Delta Golf, go ahead.
Alright, that will do her.
How long until you're ready to go?
So we'll get the parking brake on.
73 Delta Golf, cleared from the Haitians Airport
Lock
to
the
the
tail
Haitians
wheel.
Airport by direct 2-3, then it's filed. Something 5,000, squawk 3657.
Come up
Air
and
Boyd is not off by
turn off the power
1800.
steering.
Contact Minneapolis Center 119.4.
in the back. There we go. So let's get over here to our engine shutdown. Flight controls are neutralized. Parking brake is set. Heater is
Roger, you can expect that
off.
1-2 approach and lower in about 5 miles.
Sure, Charlie.
AFCS switch is off. Up to the APU. While that's coming online, you guys can get out. Alright, AP generators are on. Engine generators are off. Engine lever is now going into ground. Close the cross feed and close off the fuel. Engines are shutting down. Engine condition levers will go to stop. EAPS fans and doors are closed. FADEC backup power is off. We don't need to keep her running on power, so the AP generator will come off, APU will come off, and the battery switch is off. And here we are at Mackinac Airport. So this is where we're going to start our live stream tour of the Great Lakes. That will be coming later on next month. Hope you enjoyed these ferry flights, and hope we can see you out for the actual flights on the live streams. Take care. Bye for now.